Hey, Shalom. First off, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Makar, Badash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS that teach us this word. And Shalom unto the hopeful elect upon the four corners of this earth that's trying to make it up out of here. So today I wanted to talk about the topic of not trusting thine enemy. Because in the times that we're coming into, our enemy, which is Esau, which is these 2/3, but I want to specifically talk about Esau. Our enemy, they're ready to really amp things up. This is the last days, and that prophecy of these race wars are about to be rampant. This fight between Jake and Esau, this has been an ongoing thing for a lifetime, for generations upon generations. Since the womb, they came out together. They were fighting in the womb. They came out together, and they all, that inner hatred was always there all the way till now. And Esau is waiting for any way to let that hatred out. And with things that are happening right now, with this election, with the Most High ramping people's spirits up, with the Most High getting things going, the Edomites have a motive to let out their hatred against us, and it's just a matter of time. And you need to watch who you're hanging around, because if you have Edomites that are in your inner circle, that know personal things about you, they could use that against you coming up, because they are very good actors. They're good at seeming like things are okay. Like they're good at acting the part, and they will turn on you. That's why you're not supposed to trust your enemy. Let me see. Here, I'll get Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching," which means like he's acting like things are fine, like how people do today, now that slavery's over, and things aren't like they were not even 100 years ago. They act like things are okay. They act like we're okay with each other now. They act like there's peace. It says, "Yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away." Because you can do all you can to try to get rust away, but rust is always going to come back. Rust is going to grow. And their wickedness is like rust. They can do all that they can to make it seem like it's going away, to just paint on top of it, but it's always going to come back. It's always going to grow. It's always going to get stronger, grow bigger. And there's no change in that. And that's just how they are. That's just in their inward parts. And a great example for not trusting your enemy is in that movie Get Out. The main character, and he had an Edomite girlfriend, and he knew her for, like, if I'm not wrong, he knew her for a couple of years, I believe so. And I'm not sure the time frame on it, but she had him hooked, and she seemed trustworthy. She seemed down for him, and she just flipped that switch immediately and changed right then and there. And she had already had his guard down. She made him put his guard down, and boom, she flipped, and she was evil. Her wickedness showed. And that's what's gonna happen in these last days. Them Edomites that you see at work that are all cordial, all nice, they're just waiting for that switch to flip. And they'll be able to let their real selves really show. And that's why you gotta watch. You gotta watch your enemy. You can't trust your enemy. You really gotta pay attention to how they move. You gotta pay attention to who you're around. You can't let your guard down. I want to get 1 Peter chapter 5 verse chapter 5, verse 8. It says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." So you know how lions move in the wild. They crouch low, they prowl the scene. They peep out what's going on, and they just stay back until they're ready to pounce, and then they just cause carnage. And that's what Edom does. That's what they're doing right now. They're acting like everything's fine. They're acting like they're cool with Jake, and they're just waiting for that right time, and then everything's just gonna get flipped. That's how everything in the last days is gonna be. Everything's gonna turn upside down, and everything's gonna go to hell after that. But Edom has that hatred in their hearts. It never went away. It's like that rust. That rust doesn't go away. That hatred doesn't go away. That's just written inside of them. That's a natural. That's a natural thing for them. It's subconscious. They don't even have to be thinking of it. It's just a subconscious thing because that's how the Most High made them. The Most High made us, literally made us to be against each other. In the womb, we were against each other. He made us to be against each other. He made us have a he made us have a spite for each other. Even now, as much as they try to act like things are okay, even Jake that aren't in this truth, they still aren't 100% comfortable. And then you have the few that are dummies and they are 100% comfortable, and those are the people who are gonna be sorely disappointed in the last days because they're gonna be betrayed. They're gonna feel betrayed when that's on you if you put your guard down like that and you let your enemy come close, because Edom likes to Edom is very good at hiding themselves, and they're very good at being imposters and lying. They're great liars, and they will try to make it seem like things are okay. And for the people who fall for that, knowing history, knowing how Edom is, that's your fault if something happens because you let your enemy close. There's there's multiple groups, a very wide number of Edomites who are talking about if Trump loses, if Trump gets out of office, then they're gonna go and just start killing Jake, torturing Jake, shooting Jake. There's still Jake lynched in different states, in Mississippi, and mostly in Mississippi. There's a lot of lynchings in Mississippi that still happen to this day. People still get lynched, and that's from slavery times. And you're trying to tell me that Edomites, that hatred went away? It didn't. Edom's racism is still going strong. Edom's feeling of superiority, that feeling of hatred towards us, is still going strong, and you can't just act like it's not there. It is, and there's no if, ands, or buts about it, and there's no trying to hide that. It is, and people know it's there, and that's why it's always a conversation. It's like a taboo subject nowadays. It's a taboo thing to bring that up, to stop hiding it, it's like a taboo thing to live in reality and act like something is what it is. People act like things aren't what they are, and that's just not true. Things are what they are, and you can't keep ignoring it. You can't keep ignoring the facts. Ephesians 4:27 says, I'll get it so I don't butcher it. I don't want to butcher that. Slakia. Ephesians 4:27 says, "Neither give place to the devil." Salakia, I'm messing them words up. Neither give place to the devil. Don't even give Edom. In this context, it is talking about not giving place for Satan to let you go off and do wickedness. But on another hand, you can't give place to for your enemy to betray you, to take advantage and let that hatred out on you. You don't give them that opportunity as best as you can. Now sometimes it's out of a random Edomite can just come through and try to do something to you, but remember that you can't trust them. Don't trust your enemy. You can't trust a liar. It's like the boy who cried wolf. He acted like a wolf was there. People came and they didn't believe him. He did it again, and people, well, not that they didn't believe him. They believed him and they came and saw that he was lying, and then he did it again and people came and saw that he was lying. So when a wolf was actually there, they came. Well, they didn't come because they didn't believe him. When he cried wolf for that third time, they didn't believe him because he kept messing with them. And that's what you gotta do with Edom. They lie. They are liars, and you have to understand that they're liars, and you can't trust them. They're not people who are supposed to be trusted. We aren't supposed to trust them as Israel, because you got to remember that Edom's tactics, they have a lot of great mental tactics. They make you feel safe. They make you feel like you're in a place where you're supposed to be, and we're not, and that's the reality, and we have to understand that that's the reality. So that's all I wanted to say on that. With that being said, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Akar Wadash, and Shalom.